how's it going, Hail Stalkers? Lead meteorologist John Choquette here. For those of you who've been calling in, we're getting a lot of calls this morning. Our servers were having some serious issues this morning. The website was down for a couple hours, so if you're having problems logging in and everything, there's nothing wrong with your account. We were just having some back-end issues with elevated traffic and just other weird tech stuff that I don't totally understand. But it's online now. We're good to go. Everything is working. I know this morning it was probably a little hectic, but things are good now. As of 12 o'clock p.m. Central Time, it is working. Our servers are fine. Our website is up and running as is normal. So hopefully things will stay good for the remainder of the day. And from here on out, every once in a while, stuff happens. It's technology, you guys know. Crazy things happen sometimes. Basically today our forecast video is we're just looking ahead at the end of this week into this weekend and the following week. Today things are quiet and the rest of this week is fairly quiet. We pretty much have a big snowstorm going on in the Northeast and not much else anywhere else in the country. But make sure your notifications are turned on. Even if our servers aren't working, you'll still get those push notifications. Go to notification options, select your regions, and have them turned on to where you'd like to get notified, and push notifications, emails, and on your desktop computer. And you can do that now with the website back up and running as normal. Otherwise, just make sure you can watch on our app too. You can watch on our app right now. The app is indeed working. So you're watching this most likely on Facebook. You go onto the app, log in, you can see that it's up and running and that you can watch this exact video if you click on the lightning bolt and see the video in the corner, rotate, you know the drill at this point. So we're going to jump into the forecast now. We're going to look at the computer models. Things are, well, the weather is being fickle. It's the springtime, and in the springtime that means, or in the transitional to springtime, so March notoriously is very well known for this in terms of the weather world and in terms of forecasting. It goes all over the place. Yesterday we were talking about extremely active going into the last half of March, and now today the computer model, it was last night and then into today, the computer models have done kind of a 180 and they're like, well, never mind, maybe it won't be that busy, I don't know, we'll figure it out. And I wouldn't panic yet. There's no reason to panic. This is the fact that we had a complete 180 from yesterday to today makes me think that we'll probably have a 180 again tomorrow. And so we're just gonna have to kind of watch the remainder of this week and just kind of see where things are going. We're going to look at the upper levels of the atmosphere, and again, here's the big snowstorm moving out through the Northeast for the fourth time in the past couple weeks. And then here's our bit of energy coming in on Friday. This is going to cause, what happens on Friday, this system here as it moves through, if it's stronger than modeled, or it stays modeled as strong, what will happen is it'll sweep the Gulf of Mexico of all the good moisture, and it'll kind of screw up, it'll be a domino effect, and screw up the chances for hail for the remainder of the weekend and even to the beginning of next week. Now, if the storm weakens, kind of like what's happening here, then the following systems will have more moisture to work with, and we can have potential for more storms. The other thing that we're looking at that might be a limiting factor for severe weather, at least this weekend, is back here off to the east. What's going to happen here? Are we going to continue with this northwest flow, or are we going to see this kind of move off to the east as well and deteriorate a little bit, allowing for more moisture to move up into the southeast? These are big time questions that the fact that the computer models really aren't handling it very well, they don't know what's going on, they keep flip-flopping, there's absolutely no agreement, makes me think that I think what we're seeing here is going to change entirely, and then we see another system moving out. This is on your Monday, and then a much more significant system will come out into next week. And I'm going to go out of this view and show you guys the surface with the dew points, with the moisture, and to kind of better visualize what I was just talking about with the whole moisture issue. So here we are right now, and you can see here all the good colors are pretty much off the bottom of the screen, and we move forward and we get towards Friday. All that moisture comes up, and yes, there will be storms. There will be storms on Friday. Let's not downplay this at all. At the very least, there'll be storms in most of Arkansas, probably eastern Texas, northern Louisiana. I believe Friday there will be severe weather. It's more just, is it going to just be Arkansas, or are we going to see it go much further north, much further east? Is this going to be slower, faster? a lot of things that we really have to kind of iron out the next few days. And with the way the pattern is, how volatile it is, things are going to flip-flop back and forth a million times before things actually pan out. I mean, just this past Saturday even, we were talking about on Friday how it wasn't going to be that busy, and then Saturday was busy. It was Saturday morning, we woke up and like, oh, okay, the thing the models were showing didn't happen, and now we have a completely different ball game. So that's kind of what we're looking at here, and it's kind of frustrating, is just seeing what will happen. Right now, the latest data, this is data that I didn't really get to look at too much. It shows that the moisture doesn't get too far south. It stays in like south central Texas. And does it move back up a little bit? Yeah, it moves up a little bit, and this is on Sunday evening. But this would limit it down to south of the Red River. It wouldn't get up into Oklahoma or anything in terms of good time severe weather. It'd be possibly closer to Dallas. I think again, I know I probably was a little doom and gloom at the beginning, but it was more just, are we having big widespread outbreaks in terms of a whole bunch of areas, or are we limiting it down to just Texas? So right now, it's looking like this weekend would be less giant outbreak over the entire Mississippi Valley into the I-35 corridor, and more just, probably Texas. So that's what we're looking at right now. And again, this is probably going to be completely different tomorrow as well. The point is we are moving into a more active pattern. Actually, that's a pretty good dry line. Moving into on your Monday, and here you see this system now sweeps the Gulf, and you see all this moisture getting pushed down, and that's not what we want to see. We want to see, with a progressive pattern like this where we have bit of energy after bit of energy coming out from the southwest, excuse me, we want to see the moisture stay around here so we can get it to move further north, deeper moisture, better storms to form in more widespread areas. And we move forward and we get closer to another big possible event. You see the moisture is coming up, but like the good moisture, the blues and the purples are staying very far south by like San Antonio. We get into Oklahoma. 50s dew points is not quite enough to get that big time severe weather you want. It's enough to get some severe weather, and then a big jump here. And so this is on next Thursday. This would have some severe, this would get the severe weather up to the I-44 corridor. So a little bit better on that one, and then let's see what happens. And then this really sweeps the Gulf. But we're way out in fantasy. We're in what we call fantasy land, beyond 200 hours. And this really just, I think one of these systems, what will most likely happen, in my professional opinion, is we're going to have one of these systems will be forecasted to sweep the Gulf like this, and then it won't. And then whichever one does that, whichever one does not sweep the Gulf of all of the moisture, we have all these other systems down the pipeline to have happen. When that one doesn't sweep the Gulf, everything's going to change entirely, and we'll have an active pattern. Everything's pointing to an active pattern. It's just all the puzzle pieces need to come together, and what we use for modeling, for looking ahead beyond just a couple days, is really having a hard time latching onto it. The European model and the Canadian models both also they look different from this even, so it makes it very challenging for us to get an idea. I'm still sticking with active for the second half of March. Like, again, even knowing it wasn't showing giant widespread outbreaks on this specific run, we're going to see severe weather on Friday probably in Arkansas, Louisiana, eastern Texas, and then again probably on Sunday further west to like the I-35 corridor in Texas. If Dallas, all it takes is one good storm. A lot of you guys know one good storm going through Dallas means a very busy day for us, a very busy day for all you guys who work Texas. So that's kind of what we're looking at right now. I know it's going to be kind of all over the place, so you got to tune in every single day at 12 o'clock here. We're going to just kind of give you the latest of what we're looking at, what our opinions on what we're looking at right now. If you're jumping in kind of late, basically I'm just looking at the computer models are looking real different from yesterday. And now we're just kind of seeing, is it going to course correct itself? Is this a trend that we're seeing, or are the models just really confused and we just have to wait and see what this first system has in store? I think whatever happens on the system on Friday will kind of ripple effect through the remainder of the weekend and into next week. And then we just kind of go from there. A lot of potential is there. So that's why we keep that the active second half of the month. The potential is there. All we need is just kind of see what happens, and if all the dominoes can get in place for we want really active, obviously. You know, any activity is good, but we want to see some big outbreaks. So that's what we're looking at right now. If any guys have any questions, I can answer them right now. Bring it to Atlanta. What day is a hail hitting Nashville? Guess no hail on DFW. Blame John. Do you take requests? If so, we like hail in Atlanta, please. Yes, Atlanta hasn't been hit in a very long time, as I'm just kind of reading through the comments here. You guys are overdue. You're a very large metro area in the southeast, and I hope we can see a good storm, in the next few weeks. It really just comes down. I think for Atlanta to get a good storm, it's going to come down to one of these systems not sweeping the Gulf and slowing down a little bit. And right now, with how progressive the pattern is, I think Atlanta may have to wait a couple more weeks, and once we get into April a little bit. But again, we'll see what happens as we move forward. Okay, Michigan, please. Michigan, you guys aren't going to see anything for a while. Probably not till May. It's pretty cold up in the Northeast, and it's going to stay cold up in the Northeast for at least a few more weeks. Nashville, again, it really comes down to how things pan out the next about half a week into a week. And if I could change my tune completely and be like, oh, Nashville's going to get blasted, we'll see. I think if you guys don't see anything in the next couple weeks, I think April, the Nashville area, Middle Tennessee especially, could see a lot more activity. Let's see. Southwest Missouri for, I was saying, to specific dates. Let's move back here. 22nd. Yeah, it's possible on what we're looking at right now, Southwest Missouri. It's possible. You can see this little thing sticking out right in there. It's possible. Again, this is far. We're looking pretty far out right now, so I don't want to obviously give you a yes or no answer to something that's like almost 2 weeks away. So let's see, Iowa and Illinois. I think for Iowa and Illinois to get anything of substance in terms of severe weather in the next week or two, is we need to see some breaking down of the cold air streaming down from Canada. If this can kind of push away in the next few days, we can get some better moisture further north towards Chicago. And if not, then it's going to really be stunted to like probably right into this region, like using the Mississippi River as like a dividing line. Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Hi, Mom and Dad. Parents are watching. That big snowstorm back in my hometown in Connecticut. So I think my dad had to work today. And quit toying with our emotions. Yeah. Well, you guys are subscribed with this. You're subscribing into the wild whiplash of emotions that is the weather community, of just watching and waiting and hoping for something to happen and just seeing how it goes. We're looking. The trends are trending to active. It's just a matter of how active and where. And those are the big question marks. And obviously, those are the questions that you guys want answered the most. So that's why we're just kind of right now saying we're watching this basic area. And I think Texas and Arkansas are sure bets that we're going to see hail happen there between Friday and Monday morning. There you go. There's your little bullet point you can have. So I think that's pretty much all I'm going to do for you guys today. Again, just a little update on our end of our website. I know a lot of you guys were having issues with the website. Website's back up online completely fine now. The servers have been fixed. Give a big high five, big shout out to our development team of Austin and David for putting out all the fires and getting everything back in running, smooth, tip-top shape for the remainder of the day and hopefully for the rest of the week and rest of the storm season without any more hiccups. But, technology, stuff happens, and we do our best to try to make sure we minimize the amount of interruptions. Also, don't miss any of our updates, of course, here on Facebook. If you guys watch us on Facebook, even if we do have problems with our app and you can't watch on the app or on the website, you can always watch on Facebook. It's simulcasting on a bunch of different stuff. Follow our page. Make sure you see it first. Just click on See First here on our Facebook page, and we'll pop up at the top of your news feed, so you'll never miss any of our videos, and you should get notifications at least once in a while of our stuff streaming through for the Facebook app. And we send out push notifications every single day for our 12 p.m. forecasts. And again, once things get busy, 12 and 5 p.m. So, and if you want any more questions, give us a call. 855-334-4245. Our phones were blown up this morning because our website was wasn't really working, but we're good now. So give us a call if you have any other further questions. If it's your first time watching, You can also email us if you want more information at info@hailtrace.com, or just visit our website, hailtrace.com. I'm lead meteorologist John Choquette here for HailTrace. I hope you have a great rest of your Tuesday, guys. We'll be back again tomorrow to continue toying with your emotions about the forecast prospects leading then to this weekend into the next week. But until then, I hope you have a great rest of your day.